Hello, welcome. I've had several pairs of shoes aimed at the functional fitness and CrossFit niche over the past 13 years, including Innovates, 3 pairs of Reebok Nanos, and most recently some Nike Metcons. I've been looking for a new multi-purpose training shoe for nearly a year, and I settled on the Born Primitive Savage 1. I'll break the review into a few sections, so go over some of the specs of the shoes themselves, the appearance, the feel, performance, and then I'll wrap it up in a quick conclusion. So to start with the specs, I got a men's size 9.5 in the black and gum color. It weighs 322 grams according to my kitchen scale. So it's not excessively heavy, but it is heavier than some of the Innovate shoes. The stack height is 21 millimeters at the heel, 17 millimeters at the toe, so that leads to a 4 millimeter heel to toe differential. This is similar to the Metcon and the Nano iterations, I believe. According to the Born Primitive website, the toe box on the men's size 9, so remember mine's a 9.5, so the men's size 9 is 95 millimeters wide, so mine is just a little bit larger. So that's a nice wide toe box, which is great for toe movement and allowing the toes to splay.
One of the first things customers look at is the appearance of the packaging and the shoes themselves, so I'll discuss this first. On first view of the box, there's a sleek appearance with the navy and red design. I think it looks great. The shoes themselves are the black and gum color scheme, size 9.5, like I mentioned before. The stitching, seams, and glue lines are all seamless in transition, and with the tasteful Born Primitive and Savage 1 branding on the sides. I'm really not a big fan of overt or obnoxious branding, so I find this is a nice touch, and it's nothing that stands out too much. The outsole and the tread have simple multi-directional lines to maximize grip and stability. And the appearance of the shoe overall really reminds me of the Nano 6 and 8s, which is a really good thing. I think that they were pretty tight looking shoes and they felt great. The laces are tubular in shape, so they're basically puffy, which can assist in preventing them from becoming untied during workouts. They came untied once or twice when I was doing some Bulgarian split squats, but that's probably because they were rubbing on the bench. During jumping and double unders, I didn't really have the same problem, so it's basically more likely a me issue and not really the shoe. My heel feels cupped quite nice, and I didn't experience any sliding around during squats or change of direction movements. There's a good amount of room through the toe box to allow my toes to splay and move unimpeded. Some reviewers mentioned that it fits a bit wider. In my opinion, that's a good thing. The mesh allowed a small amount of fresh air into the shoe, which helped cool the feet down quite a bit. I did find that the tongue rode up and it felt somewhat rigid, so when I was squatting, it kind of pinched into the front of my ankle and made it rather restricted in some ways. I've heard this from a few others that I've talked to, and I've read one other review that mentioned the same thing, so this isn't necessarily a me issue, but maybe with some continued wear it will soften and stretch, but I'm not sure yet. The stability of the shoe had a great feel. Because of the cupping of my heel, my feet felt secure during movements like barbell cycling, snatches, overhead squats, pistols, and box jumps. I also noted that the toe caps protected my toes nicely during burpees. Transitions between movements felt good and smooth. I didn't have a rope in my home gym, so this wasn't tested, but I suspect that it would hold up well and would grip the rope decently. I also didn't do much running other than some quick 20-foot shuttle runs or so up and down my driveway because, well, it's still winter here and the sidewalks and streets are still quite messy and icy. I did wear them at the clinic for a few shifts and they felt good standing for extended periods of time as well.
So in conclusion, overall I wore this shoe for about 50 hours over the past 2 weeks, doing things like training, standing at the clinic, walking. This shoe is a strong competitor in the functional fitness market and really reminds me of the previous iterations of the Nanos in all the best ways. The only negative I can find is that the tongue is rigid, and because of this it can ride up into the ankle. You can see it's a slightly different material. It's kind of a leathery type material or pleather. And that can just impinge the ankle a little bit when you're squatting. Otherwise, it performed nearly flawlessly in every other aspect that it was tested. if you're looking to upgrade your training shoes, I'd highly recommend this shoe to be in the running. Hopefully in future iterations they'll deal with that, or with time and continued use that might soften and become a little less rigid and stiff as well. So drop a like, a share, and comment on the video with your thoughts. Thanks for watching.